Peace, peace. Welcome back. This is the Elements Podcast. I am your host, Jason. Uh, I got my good brother, co-host with me today. Been missing this guy. He's back now. 4-5 in the building. What's happening, Q?
Peace, hey, peace to man, woman, and child. It's good to be home. It's good to be home. It's good to be back on the platform, moving how we move. Indeed.
Word. Man, yeah, man. So today, this is special. This is a special, man. I'm excited to do this. This brother that we got with us today, um, just a heavy, you might not know, he might not know, but a heavy influence um, on how I started looking at things in regard to uh, media and film and all of that. Um, yeah, this brother, man, we go
Mm.
back, man. We go
Oh yeah.
back,
Oh yeah.
back to the 217, back to Decatur, Illinois, where I met this guy, man. He's an official, acclaimed writer, director, producer. On the show today, we have my man Skee Skinner in the building. Skee, what's
I
happening,
appreciate.
good brother?
Oh, doing good, brother. Appreciate you, Jason Q, man. Good seeing y'all, brothers. It's been a minute, but all family, all love, man.
All time,
All,
all the
all
time.
love, all
Yes.
love, all love, man.
Oh yeah.
So,
Oh yeah.
Ski, man, this is the Elements Podcast.
Mm-hmm.
Man, it's based on the culture of hip hop, and all the elements that build and create this format and this culture. And we just
Oh yeah.
give praise and salute anybody that influenced the culture and that's within the culture. And so today we're gonna
Mm-hmm.
celebrate you, bro. But we're gonna
Oh, I
pace it
appreciate
out because I want people to know your story and your consistency and what you do, what you've done, and where you going because you got some big things popping off. So we're
it.
gonna
Oh, no
get
doubt.
into that.
No
But
doubt.
before we do that, Ski, I gotta shout some people out. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, no doubt.
Um, Today I'm rocking a 4-5. Our homeboy Big Dog got the merch out now, right?
Head pain, head pain.
Head
Mm-hmm.
pain.
Peace to
Yeah.
big dog.
I'm
Peace to
rock
big dog.
Peace to Big Dog, man. I'm rocking that T from Head Pain, man. See that joint right there? Um, got some dope stuff on that site. So salute to Big Dog, man. And he's designed all of the MK King singles. You know what I'm saying? So, my man just do dope work. But I want everybody and that's under the sound of my voice, man. Y'all go and check Head Pain and order you some of this merch. I'm gonna go ahead and place his joint up so everybody can see where to go. Um, because my man, he deserves some shine. So let's give him some
Mm-hmm.
shine. Um, Here we go, right here.
Go get some of that head pain. Some of that head pain merchandise from my man Marcel Fields, aka we call him Big Dog. You know what I'm saying? But you know, excellent graphic designer, you know what I'm saying, creative, um, you know, very serious with his work. And we got some dope stuff over there. So go and get some of that. That's my
Yeah,
cosign
got the
right there.
T.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. So yeah, y'all heard 4-5, man. Y'all go and support black owned businesses, man, and support
Indeed.
these dope artists that are curating the culture with dope stuff. And not only, Big Dog, but we got Sis, B girl. She's
Peace
family
to
to the
big girl.
show. You know what
Peace
I'm
to
saying?
big
She
girl.
got
Yep.
she got the godchild. She got Godchild out right now. So y'all see it on the screen. Y'all go right there, godchild-boutique.com. myshopify.com and get some of that Godchild merch. You know, get some of the, you know, she got some jewelry on there. She got books. So shout out to B Girl doing her thing with Godchild. So y'all stop over there and shop with her. And plus, the holidays coming up, man. What we need to do is definitely support one another on these holidays, man. I know old Reg was talking about for Christmas, he was just getting everybody, you know, some merch and just really supporting the brands of people that are really showing and proving and out here doing their thing. So that sounds like a dope idea to me.
That's
You know what I
beautiful.
mean?
Oh yeah. Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
peace to old Reg. Peace to the brother. Peace to the brother.
Peace to old Reg. Pune, we'll shout Pune out too.
Big brother Pune, Wise Dome. Word.
Yes. 4-5. You know, I can't let you slide, good brother. You know what I'm saying? Without shouting out Ground Up Radio. Tell the people about your platform.
Ground Up Radio, you know what it is, man. Ground Up Radio, we are a internet radio station as well as a blog website, which focuses on the culture of hip hop mainly, but we do play R&B, but we focus not only on the mainstream but also the independent artists. We've been going strong since. Been going strong. We've been up. We stood up, established 2007, been running ever since. So you know, make sure that you tap into us. Roundupradio.com. A whole lot to come now that I'm back from across the water. I'm more hands-on with everything. Shout and salute to all of my DJs and my people that provide the soundtrack to the station. Going all the way down from Cheryl Underwood and her crew, all the way down to DJ Remix, all the way down to DJ Will Money. Ryan V and his crew for over there at the Ryan Show. Also, shout out to my man DJ Fontaine holding it down in Virginia. DJ Rampage from Flip Mode Squad holding it down. And if I forgot
Talk about it. Talk
you know what I'm saying?
Mm.
We got some good things, man. Our Friday nights are very action packed. Our Saturdays are always packed. More shows to come. Look out for 4 or 5 to keep adding his own shows. I'm gonna dip back into that, man, because you know the DJ bug has bit me again. So please look out for my thing. But in the meantime, make sure that you log it into groundupradio.com. Everything on social media is Ground Up Radio, from Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Snapchat. Just the Google Ground Up Radio. It's gonna come up, I guarantee it. But come check us out. You know what I'm saying? Supporting the culture. We make sure that we keep the integrity of the culture and pushing the culture forward. Ground Up Radio, get built from the ground up. Indeed. Appreciate that second.
Hey, that was a dope commercial right there, man. Like you freestyled that off the top of the dome real well, man.
I got the impromptu skills, brother. You know what I'm saying? The brother down there in that box down there, Skee Skinner. He kind of helped develop that. We go get into that there later though. Right?
Yeah. All right, so
That's cool.
ladies and gentlemen, we about to get into it. Skee Skinner, man. So before we get conversation, let me just your bio to the people. I'm not going to read the whole thing, but I'm just going to give them a synopsis. Born in 1970 in Alton, Illinois. So he Midwest all day.
Oh yeah.
Graduated in 88 and came to Millikan University in the Deck Hills. And it was there he started studying the art, skills and practical use, and started creating local projects and had the use of cameras and facilities at his disposal at the university and local film production companies. And he's written and directed several student films and graduated in 92, right?
Yes, yep.
Graduated in 92. Okay, because I came out of high school in 93, and that's when I met you. So let's start college. Let's start in your college years. When you attended Millikan, were you already did you go there with the mindset of I want to be a filmmaker? Like what what led you to what led you to that?
Oh yeah, yeah. But taking it back, I mean, as a kid, I was always entranced with films. I immersed myself like with films. I watched everything from the black and white old school films to the up to date stuff, and I was always a writer from a kid up. I was big time into comic books and things like that. So my mind was always turning. And as a child, I directed and did a little bit of everything from theater to plays. And one of the funniest things, just a funny sidebar, man, back in, I want to say it was third grade, everybody, when I go back to the crib, everybody always says, man, I remember back in third grade when you directed us, we did Fat Albert and the Cosby Kids. And that's one of the big things in the town. They jive me all the time about that. Because we had a play. It was like we did a play, but it was a talent show. And the whole school was mad love. So it's always been in my blood. And then when I had the opportunity really to get off in school, I got a scholarship basically for athletics, me and football, because I was a football player, but my grades also, because I handled the business on that side of the fence. We can't, slip on that. But when I got to Milliken, all I really wanted to get access to was the equipment, man. And once I could put my hands on the equipment, I could go ahead and do my thing in terms of making projects and so forth. And I learned a lot, even at the school, man. It was basically one of the good things for me. Two of the alma maters from Milliken lived in Decatur still, and they were filmmakers. So they kind of took me under their wing in terms of giving me access outside of the school system. So I was able to really get the books experience as well as get the hands-on. And see, a lot of film students don't get that. They allow me to get on the sets of like major films like Mobsters and so forth up in Chicago. And that really got the bug in me, because I was able to not only like just read about it, I was immersed in the culture. And my whole philosophy all the time was I wanted to make films, not just for my culture, but make universal films where everybody could see a story somewhat of their culture within my type of film, within my films. And that's really what the big thing that Milliken gave me was access, man. That's really what it was, access. And I took it from there and made it work.
Okay. So 1993, man. That's a special year.
Yes, sir.
Special year. That's a special year, man.
I know.
Not only graduating, but I met you.
Yes, sir.
And this is just how this is just how I started to see how the universe works, how God moves.
Oh yeah.
You were already out of school. You had already graduated, and you were looking to do a film. So let's take it from there, because I just want you wanting to do this independent film. Was this something that you just wanted to try to do for yourself, or was it, well, at that time, at period in time, 1993 summer, what was your mind? What was your to say? I'm looking for a project to do, to produce and make, and I want to take it somewhere. What? Let's run with that.
Oh yeah, most definitely. In essence, when I graduated in '92, I was basically looking for an opportunity to kind of branch out of the student situation, because obviously when you're a student, you're limited to what you can do. There are only so many programs they're going to allow you to do. So I was looking for an opportunity to produce a film and do a film that I wanted to do to represent the culture. And I took a job when I got out of school at the local cable company. It was called, back then it was TCI Cable. And I was just trying to get my hands on some equipment and stack a few dollars while I was doing that stuff. And I was always saving my money to put in behind projects that could advance, filmmaking and so forth. So I had a concept and an idea of something that I wanted to do. And a funny, again, a funny sidebar, but I remember, like I said, your mom worked at the cable company, and she always told me about her son, how he, he's right, he's creative, this and that. And, we would talk and chit chat. And then when I met you, I said, yeah, this brother, I could see it in you. You were a little shy at that time, and I knew you were younger. So I said, this is a brother that I could pass something on to, and let's get together and let's make something happen. And I remember when you came at me with this story, and it was just at the time, it was almost just like a rap or a poem. And I was like, wait a minute, we can expand this and we can make, a straight up film. And I know in a city like Decatur, you guys know, because y'all from the D, that environment is not always an environment that's supportive of somebody thinking outside the box. It's more of a blue collar environment. But once we came with a concept and idea like that, the whole city got behind it, like quick. And even Milliken, they got behind it. And the next thing I knew, we had some on our hands that showed people that you don't have to just do normal run of the mill things. You can think outside the box and you can be effective in getting your work seen and so forth. But that my mindset, like to answer your initial question, my mindset was to, make a film, literally to produce and make a film and utilize that to take it to the next level and step by step, because you have to come with something. When you're asking people to do things for you, they need to see your work and they need to see that you're working and so forth. And that's always been my thing. I never ask a brother or a sister to do something that I'm not willing to do. And that was really the motive or the impetus behind kind of making that movie and so forth, was to create a body of work, but also be able to give back to brothers like yourself, where they can never take that away from you. You were a part of that. You and Q were a part of that. And no one can ever take that away. And that's a big thing, back in Decatur, that was a big thing and so forth. And it's opened up doors, obviously it's opened up doors to keep it moving.
Word. Um, that whole experience, 4-5, you look like you want to chime in.
Yeah, actually, it's just, and I don't want to step on what you're gonna say, because I think you're almost gonna, I think we almost are in the same wavelength of what we're gonna say next. But I just remember, first and foremost, I'm forever grateful for that opportunity to work on something like that, being a young brother from Decatur and doing something like that was just a different experience, man. So, gratitude in that, big brother. But but I remember the rawness of doing it.
The
rawness. I could say, I guess you could say, like it was really guerrilla style and filming, the filming aspect. And the resources of what we had of people coming together and being supportive. I forget the brother that brought the car out, the drop top. And I was, and my character was, in the story, he was the driver, and I remember I was about, God, I was like 16, maybe almost 17, and it was an older model car. I remember that. Trying to put that bad boy in park was saying, and the brother, I forget the brother name, man. Shout out to him, but that man was on my neck about his car, man. That man was on my neck about make sure I didn't mess that car, and I was scared. I didn't want to mess the car up too, but just simple things like that. Just simple things like that. That brother coming in and letting us use his vehicle, and brothers like
people's real, man. They let us use their houses, man.
Yeah,
let us use their houses. Unheard of.
Right. Yeah, the neighborhood fathers like Dickie Phillips. You know what I'm saying? Like,
exactly.
Dickie Phillips.
Much love and respect. Everybody that's grew up on the west side of Decatur, if you was from the area, you know who that man is. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
But him to come in and let us use his home like that, and just the amount, and being able to get that amount of support, that showed a lot to myself. You know what I'm saying? I'm pretty sure everybody around us, but it showed a lot to me. And basically it just kind of sparked you know, the spirit to hustle, to you know,
Mhm.
go for what it is that your dream is. You know what I'm saying? You know,
Mhm.
there's no, there's there is no one's not an answer. Find a way to say yes. You know, find a way to say
Uh-huh.
yes and make it happen, man. So in that experience right there, that's what I remember the most. You know what I'm saying? Um, and I seen that in you. You know, I seen that in you, and just when we're doing them takes over and over and over again. You know what I'm saying? Like that wasn't good enough. That wasn't good enough. Like, no, you gotta come harder, man. Like, look, you 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 a gangster. You know, y'all just did a kill. Y'all just did this. You know what I'm saying? You know, you can't be smiling so much. You know, and you know this kind of thing. But you know, just the whole workflow. That's what I remember, and it was good. It was positive. Um, I do remember us shooting a scene on the east side, right around the corner from my grandmother's house,
Mhm.
man. You know what I'm saying? East Division, you know, we were right around the corner from there. And it was it was an
Mhm.
abandoned, and there was a house was abandoned. It was like the last, I remember it was the last scene. And that's when, you know, the little brothers, they ain't little brothers no
Oh
more.
yeah. Oh yeah.
Shaylin, shout out Shaylin Walker. You know what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
Rest in peace, little Derek, though. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Um, you know, they were in that scene, little Derek Matthews.
Yeah.
But I remember also that right around the corner from there, there was some brothers that they was hustling. Let's say that.
Mhm.
I'll say they was hustling.
Mhm.
And when the cameras came up, they were like, oh, oh, what's this? What's this? You know, I remember that clear. But even so, um, and them watching and seeing what we're doing, they even got supportive of it. You know what I'm
Exactly.
saying? They were
Exactly.
just like, yeah, do
Mhm.
what y'all do. Just don't bring them cameras over here. People live over here. Da 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 da. You
Uh,
know. I remember few of the guys that was there. I remember one guy in particular. And we used the shot in. I think y'all used the shot in the movie. But
mhm.
because I remember T Love Terry, Big Terry.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying, Big Terry. He told him throw it up.
Uh-huh.
And the guy he did his stuff.
Mhm.
You know, I remember
Uh-huh.
using that shot. I remember exactly who that was too. But
Mhm.
a lot of memories from that, man. You
Oh
know, a
yeah.
lot of memories from that.
Yeah.
And just but again, the grind. That's what I remember, the grind and
Mhm.
you know, the
Mhm.
grind and
It takes
make sure he was available that, you know. Yeah.
oh
My
yeah.
fault, Jay.
No, it's huge, young man. I mean, what everything you bringing up is that's huge because that's what it's about. You have to lead by example, and outside of leading by example, see, that gets other people on board, and that's one of the things I learned as a kid to do just to do it. If you just kind of like Michael Jordan when they talk about just do it with Nike. If you just do it, other people they'll follow your lead. The people that want to be better, want to aspire to do other things, and want to think outside the box. It doesn't matter, where you're from. It's how you come. What are you doing? And that's what people. I don't care whatever hood you from, whatever city, whatever nationality. If you're doing something and people can see that in you, they're gonna attach, and you bring them with you. That's what
Mhm.
it's about, bringing people along. And that's how you ultimately each one teach one is the motto, and it's real. It's real like that.
And that's great. That's a great mindset, Ski, because what I seen in you and from you, and like you said, man, I I hadn't fully formed into my little alter ego yet. I was still kind of just shy. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying?
Hmm.
I wasn't a very talkative person. But I remember, your work ethic, and you would just the structure and the formatting of doing a film. Like, we actually had readings. You know what I'm saying? Like, you
Oh
brought the
yeah,
cast
yeah.
together. We everybody read the script. before we actually got out there and started filming, everybody read script, you know what I'm saying? And then the process and the premiere. I
Oh
remember
man.
just seeing all of that and you carrying me through that, you know what I'm saying? And me being able to be a part of that alone in itself, I mean, I'm sure a lot of people got bit and said, yo, this is something I feel I could do. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? I
Oh, yeah.
know I did. You know
Oh,
what
yeah.
I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
And then once you did that, you took it a whole step further. This is what I understand from what you were saying. People want to see your body of work,
Oh, yeah.
and and that's what I understand. Just go knock on record label door or the film company's door and say, "Hey, give me a record deal. Hey, give me a movie deal."
Mhm.
Okay, what have you done? What you
Exactly.
doing?
Exactly.
And and the example that you set was do this by any means. However, I got to get it done. I got to get it done. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
and I don't know how, I don't know all your resources and all of that, but I know that you pulled some things together and you
Oh,
did
yeah.
it and you did it. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Once you did that, you premiered Injustice. You started going on a campaign and it and you started showing it to uh, prisoners and started showing
Oh,
it
yeah.
to uh, groups of movers and shakers and stuff and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
You had a plan. You seen it and you executed it and you wanted to take it somewhere.
Oh,
Um,
yeah.
what did that where ultimately, because I think it bubbled up into something else. You know what I
Oh,
mean?
yeah. Oh, no,
Like
no doubt about it.
you wanted to produce a film, but I think it bubbled into something else. Like what did that feel like to you at that time?
Yeah. I mean, the thing I like to say is I always try to stay like 2 or 3 steps ahead of myself. I'm always thinking 2 or 3 steps ahead. It's kind of like chess. You got to think ahead. And just like you were saying, I done Unequal Injustice with the mindset of continuing to do a bigger film, trying to get a film out and so forth in terms of the theaters and distribution and the whole nine. But like you said, you have to have a body of work. And as I went around the country to different places, from schools, like you said, from the prison system to government officials, anybody that could open up and access a door for me, I needed them to see that film and understand that just because you're young doesn't mean you don't know what you're doing or where you want to go. And that's what people tended to see in me at that time. Some of those same qualities that's always been in me from a kid up. That's what you guys and other people were identifying with. And when they saw that drive and I had a plan in place, plus I had a product and it was a quality product, they said, wow, this kid
Mhm.
is the real deal. And they would take me and introduce me and open up more doors. So I was really developing the hustling skills by grinding. I was in the trenches. But the thing I always say, the talent was there, but you have to outwork a person. If they see you willing to outwork them or outwork the people that you're asking them to do things for you, they'll get out the way to open the door and pass you down where you need to go to, pass the knowledge on and help you out. But that's kind of what I did with Unequal Injustice. It opened up the door for me to get funds and financing. It took me, a couple of years to piece it all together. But in the midst of piecing that together, I was still doing the work. I was doing music videos, commercials, anything I can get my hands on to develop and get my name out. And once I got my name kind of out there a little bit within the industry, some of the old heads at that time, like your Spike Lees, Richard Pryor, different ones, they reached out to me because I had written and told them, well, this is what I'm doing, this is where I'm from. Didn't know if they were going to reach back around to me, but my mindset, I always had in my mind, once they see my work, they're going to respond to me because I'm not joking. They know they can tell when playing versus when you serious because you'll have it's a different if it's a different vibe or a different ride per se, and they're not stupid. And once those guys they saw that in me, again they opened the door and they would help. They would give me advice. I was able to dialogue and meet some of these brothers. And at that age, that was one of the biggest things because when your heroes look at you, they see some of themselves and they would usher me along. And you fast forward all that, like, so we did that in like 93, 94. So you fast forward all that up to the year 97. At the time I was living in Indianapolis. And I was getting things together all the time, planning on shooting a film in Chicago. I wanted because Chicago obviously gives a different vibe or a different atmosphere. But at the same time, too, I wanted to shoot back in my hometown, which is Alton, Illinois. It's right by St. Louis, but we're kind of like it's like a metro between St. Louis and Alton and so forth. Bridge connects the two, and both sides influence one another. So I was like, if I could shoot a film back in my hometown, I know I can control the environment. But I need the big city appeal of Chicago to sell this film. And what I did, I'd saved up money from all my different hustles and all my different projects I was working on and went to Chicago. And we spent, I want to say we shot that movie in 14 days, a feature in 14 days between two cities, between Indianapolis, parts of Alton, and Chicago. So it's technically three cities, but the way they put out the story, though, they said, hey, this dude shot this film in two cities, Indianapolis and Chicago is what they said. And once I did that film, that opened up, I was able to get a few faces in there from actually the sister that's in the television series out right now, BMF, the girl that plays the mother. She was actually in my first film. Nicole White is her name. She's a dynamic actress.
Wow.
I mean, and we're good friends to this day.
Wow.
But yeah, she was in my first film. That's like, that's like just kudos. I mean, but she played a dynamic character. She loved the script, loved my energy, loved where I was going, and so forth. And we were able to get her in there and stuff. And we made the movie. That movie actually went on and boosted me higher in the industry because when I got done with it, it took me about a year because it went to the London Film Festival, and over there. It got great reviews, went to the Chicago Film Festival and some of the other festivals here on the domestic side. They applauded the film and so forth. And the network that BMF and Power and all that stuff is on Stars, Encore Stars per se, that's the network that I launched actually on the back of my film. Because Stars, I don't know if you guys remember, but Stars came out in the late 90s. And my film, Vacant Lot, is the film that was one of their first films, and that was the #1 film for 6 months with that company and so forth. And that's what kind of boosted me and got my name out there because I had a deal at that time with a company called Urban Entertainment, and Urban Entertainment was just a subsidiary of 20th Century Fox. It was a brother that was the head of acquisitions at 20th Century. He branched off, started his own company. And they actually did the film. If you guys remember Undercover Brother?
Yeah. I watched that I watched that a few weeks ago. No lie. Yeah. I did. I watched that again.
Yeah, that was their movie. That was their movie. And what's funny about that is I remember when they were trying to put all that together, they were asking my opinion and had me sitting in the rooms and stuff and just asking questions. What did I think about this? Or look at that. So I was able to kind of get an education further, just like I said, not from the books or not from the Midwest, but I was able to get a Hollywood education. So all the while, I'm going back to trying to educate people and let them see how the game really unfolds. People always say it's overnight success and this and that, but it's years is what you put in. When you see a person like remember Michael Jordan when he would shoot free throws with his eyes closed. Yeah. Mike wasn't doing that out of sheer luck. Mike had practiced that for years. That's so right. When the time came, it was like nothing to him. This brother, he knew how many feet it was from the free throw line to the hoop. And that's the way I would do within filmmaking. If I'm talking to Spike, whoever it is, if it's Wesley Snipes or any of these brothers, back in the day, Don Lewis and your Jasmine guys, different people like that. If I'm talking to them, I was always picking their brain. I'm trying to learn as much as I can from them, and they saw that, so they would give. They would always give. And like I said, one of my biggest heroes, literally, was Richard Pryor, because a lot of people don't realize Richard Pryor is right from Peoria, Illinois.
He is.
And
Yep.
Richard Pryor's from Peoria, Midwest. And it was a good-hearted brother, but he would give of his time to me, and he would educate me just in a conversation. That can do a lot. Those are pick-me-ups for kids. So that's why I always take time out to try to reach back and help someone else, because somebody helped me to get. It's not by luck. It's happening for me, but I'm just a firm believer that if you lead by example, do the right thing, things gonna fall in place. They're gonna fall in place for you. But that's basically, you see where an unequal injustice built onto a vacant lot. And vacant lot opened up a huge door for me. That's what, like I said, really got my name within the industry. It wasn't like around the world yet, that type stuff, but it would open up doors for me within the industry. And I was able to take that, get different gigs like ghostwriting for other projects, where when you ghostwrite, you're getting paid for it, but you can't put your name on it. Somebody else taking that, but the industry knows, they know you. They know what you've done. They know what you're doing because your name is circulating. And that's what I was always hustling and grinding. And even if I'm on the lot, per se, of a 20th Century Fox, I was always looking to network. That was my big thing. Just get on there and be able to network, rub shoulders, let people see your work. And you keep doing that, your door, keep knocking on enough doors, somebody's going to open up the door. But that's kind of, it's a long way to get to answer your question, but that's what I did with Unequal Injustice. That's what someone would say, like a little Decatur was able to bounce off to LA and do some other things and make it work. But that's what it's really about, man.
Okay. That's beautiful, man.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. So, doing all of that, and being able to expand your hustle and things of that nature, what can be in your travel, in your journey, in everything that you're doing? What were some of the, because I know that we all in everything we do, we have our gains, we have our losses. What were some of the obstacles that you had to go through?
Oh, definitely. Well, in filmmaking, as most people know, it takes a lot of money. Yeah. It takes a lot of money. So if you're not willing to risk it all for your vision and your dream, it's not the right field for you, because you for two steps forward is 3 back, because you're working and you're grinding. And if you're just getting into it, a lot of people, they want to get into it for the money and thinking that it's quick money. It doesn't work like that all the time. But I was always doing projects with 2 or 3 down the line I'm thinking about, and it would bounce me to another project. I was able, from the film aspect, I was able to get gigs with the NBA, different NBA teams or NFL teams doing projects and work for them. So again, I was networking. I was able to, stack finances and do some things, but all the while I'm stacking finances and doing some things, I'm networking with a bigger plan, and I'm
Mm-hmm.
putting some money away if I fund the project, but
Right.
it was about getting the next gig where I could put some away for the project and sustain a living. And from there, I was able to get commercial projects with some pretty major companies and so forth as well. So all the while, though, I'm keeping my mind on the big picture, which is the next feature film, that type of stuff. But one of the bigger obstacles are you have to have like a tough skin. And when somebody says no, it takes those no's to get to the yes. And if you don't have that mindset, you're not going to make it, because they're looking, in terms of Hollywood and that kind of mentality, they're looking for a reason to say no. They'd rather say no than yes, because the sad reality is a lot of the people that we see on television or like the studio systems and so forth, I'm trying to say this as respectful as I can, but they're really not that talented. They're really not that talented. They steal your stuff. And I've got horror stories in terms of getting your stuff stolen, because I know the copyrights and all that stuff can be in place, but it's all about their power position. If they have a power position, they may act like they want to help you just to get access to your stuff, and they'll take the producer and claim it's yours because they know they have more finances at that time. So the legal battle, you imagine, a young kid trying to fight a legal system like a Hollywood producer that's well known, that's connected. Their money's longer than your money. They'll just wait you out. They'll take you through the court system and keep moving it on and on, because literally, and I'm not gonna say the brother's name, but we all know this brother very well. Very, very well known brother. He stole literally my script, and one of his films that done very well for him, it's my script.
Really?
It's my script. And the way I found out about it, literally, I thought me and him were cool. But the way I found out about it, I was asleep one night, and this story I'm telling you guys, this happened, I want to say, this was shortly after Unequal Injustice. I was still in Decatur at the time. And it was shortly after Unequal Injustice. I'd written a script. It was my idea for the next script, the next film that I wanted to do. And man, my sister called me about 11 something at night. She says, "Skee, boy, turn on the TV. This is your movie. They showing a trailer for your movie." And I turned the TV on and cut from the middle to the end. And I'm like, wow, this is my story. And when I called the brother and everything, he didn't pick up my call. I call back, I'm busy type stuff. And then I know I get a call from his producer saying, basically shutting me down. And I spent a lot of time trying to, battle that. But those are like horror stories, man. And an average person, if you're not thick skinned, my thing is, again, I'm not a one trick pony. And I always like to say I like to stay 2 or 3 steps again ahead of myself. So like, brother, you can have that. And I said, I'm gonna still make it. I'm gonna do. Skee's gonna do more movies. I'm gonna do more. I don't need nobody to write for me, because I'm a writer. Like you were saying earlier in the beginning, I'm a writer. I'm a director, I'm a producer. You got to wear many hats. I was forced into that position, because until you get on the level where you have budgets of that level, well, I learned to do it all for myself. And those things helped me out in the long run. But to wrap the story up about this brother, to show you how justice works, ran into the brother at the premiere. I was at the American Black Film Festival down in South Beach. You fast forward this story 6 years down the road, and I'm down there, pushing one of my films that was accepted in the film festival. He was one of the hosts. He saw me, and you'd have thought he saw a ghost, because he remembered it. I said, "You never thought you were gonna see me again," type stuff. But I'm not.
He didn't even think you was gonna be there.
You didn't think I was going to be there. And here I am sitting poolside with all the celebrities and all the different little people and stuff. And he saw that we were holding court and interacting and rapping. And they were all asking me, like, well, man, you're a young brother. How did you do this? How did you get the money? And they were like, wow, this was amazing, because they were loving the film. Right. And he was seeing all this. And me and him had a sidebar conversation, but that's how it goes. I said, the best revenge I can get is be successful. Yeah, in spite of what you've done to me. I'm not going to front you. I'm not going to front you. And that's the way it goes. But you got to be willing to, that, like I said, that drive, that focus, know what you're about. Know that you're more than a one-trick pony. They always want to act like you need them, and it's not that case all the time. But that's some of the hard stories of what went down. But again, I emerged. Look at me now. I emerged on the other side. So who won per se? Yeah. You got to ask who really won.
Wow.
Right.
Yeah. Oh, can y'all give me 1 second? I got to call this. Give me 1 second. I got to grab this call.
Go ahead. Yeah, take time.
Go ahead. Yeah,
so
man, we was Skee Skinner. If you tuning into this, man, you take notes, because he's dropping a lot of jewels. You could take these jewels and apply it to if you're doing music. Take these jewels and apply it to if you're doing sports. Whatever you're doing, what my man is talking about and saying is staying consistent, believing in yourself, stacking your bread, being your own endorser. Because when ain't nobody gonna pay you for nothing, you need to make sure you're able to pay to get your stuff out there and get your project done. And you know what I'm saying? So
and don't quit. Don't quit at all. Because it might be that moment when you want to quit. Your breakthrough might be right there. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Yeah. Sorry about that, y'all.
No, you
good, man. We just talking to the people. We appreciate the jewelry you dropping, man.
Oh yeah.
Skee. So Pieces of a Dream. That aired. Did that air on BET?
No, that was the other film, Vacant Lot. It went Vacant Lot went from Stars. Yeah, but Pieces of a Dream, that's the joint that's about to come out like in December. December at the latest, January. But what Dame Dash and all them cats, it's December is what we're targeting for the release on Tubi TV. But Pieces of a Dream that's an amazing story in and of itself. Just to get from point A to point Z where we at now. That's another one of the stories, man. It's his own story. But it's an amazing journey.
Before we go into the big things that you about to do, your process. What's your process like in writing? How long is your writing process? And then what is your mindset like? What do you do? Do you got to break away and get off somewhere and take a couple weeks to yourself? Like, what is your process in writing a script?
Well, it's various stages that you go through. For me, I literally dream it. The first thing the story it just develops in my mind. I dream it, and it may not be the full movie from beginning to end, but a title comes to me. That's like, for me, that's the first thing that comes to me is a title. And then once that title comes to me, I have characters that I've envisioned as I'm going into this process. And it usually, in terms of the writing process in and of itself, the first draft, I would say, takes about 2 to 3 weeks for me. But in wrapping it up, like from beginning to end, you're talking about like about 2 to 3 month process sometimes for me. Because again, I like to stay. I really, literally, I've got like 6 scripts like right now that are ready to go. But I typically try to stay 2 scripts full. And when I'm talking about scripts, I'm talking about a full-length feature film script. I try to stay 2 scripts ahead of myself all the time, so I always have something else to go to in the vault per se when the time comes. But
Gotcha.
that's my creative process. I perceive it in my mind if I'm driving, if I'm like sleep somewhere, if I'm traveling, whatever's going on, I have it in my mind, and I may daydream it. It's not always just a nighttime thing, but I get off to myself, and it just comes to me, and it starts to almost kind of write itself. But I've got one of my homeboys, which I didn't share earlier. My homeboy that I met at Millikan in college. It's a brother named Paul Branton. He's from Chicago, and he's a literal artist. That's how me and him met at Millikan. He was in art school. I was in film school, and I approached him. I said, "Man, I need somebody to do some painting for me for a film that I'm shooting. And by the way, why don't you come out on the set, see what we're doing, and hang out?" Because he was kind of like yourself when I first met him. He was a quiet brother, but he was entranced with being creative and in the whole media process. And he came out when we shot the scene on the west side down there on Sunset. He came out because he's a brother that painted the mural, the unequal injustice mural on the ground. That was him.
Oh,
And
wow. Okay,
him
okay.
and I that was him. Right, that was him. And me and him, we hooked up and we started writing together at Millikan. And we spent a lot of times in the dorms late night talking about our dreams, where we want to go, what we want to do. And that's my partner to this day. I mean, he and I, we like co-write. And that's been my
Nice.
homeboy and my partner, and we formed a bond and love from way back then. But that's how the process tends to work. So you never know. You may meet somebody that could change your life, and so
Hmm.
forth. And that's how he and I hooked up. And we, like I said, we've been running tough ever since. And there's always ups and downs in everything. I mean, you get disappointed and get heartbreaks, but always pick yourself back up. And I just don't spend time on the losses. That's not. I don't look at things as a loss. I look at it as a learning experience every time. And you learn to always get better. What did I do right or what did I do wrong? But don't stay stuck in that. And that's all that stuff influences me though in terms of like the writing process. It all comes out at the end of the day. And the one thing I like to try to get across to people too is you can only write about your experiences. So if you live a good, well-rounded life, don't get stuck in the box or don't stay narrow with your mindset. I try to experience a little bit of everything in terms of being there. And that's what makes me like a storyteller or a multifaceted storyteller because I've experienced a lot and continue to experience a lot. So I got a wealth of things I can pull from experience. And also I'm a great listener though, because that's you can only write about again what you hear and you gotta listen to what other people putting out there. You may get the greatest story in the world just standing on the subway, waiting on the subway
Hmm.
or something, or catching a bus or in the
It's
airport or
real.
something, or even in the supermarket. But you keep your ear to the street, and some of the best stories come from people that's not in the business. If you just listen, and then you take it and make it your own story, you do, make it unique to you, and you
Mm.
can make yourself a jewel. But those are some of the little secrets per se that work for me.
Mhm.
You know.
Okay. Now, Dame Dash Studios
Oh yeah.
and the there's another company involved, if I'm not mistaken, correct?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Dame
Oh
Dash
yeah. And
Studios and
Homestead
Homestead
Entertainment.
Entertainment.
Oh yeah. Oh
Okay.
yeah. Homestead Entertainment. Mm-hmm.
So you inked a 3-year licensing and distribution deal with Dame Dash Studios and Homestead Entertainment.
Yes.
How did that come about?
That is pretty amazing, Jay. I mean, what happened, man, I want to say this was literally about 3 weeks ago. 3 weeks ago, I'm just sitting watching football, just chilling on a Sunday, literally. My phone rings. It's the head of acquisitions from Dame Dash Studios. It's a brother named Omar. Omar is cool, but Omar tells me, man, I seen your trailer on the internet. He saw it literally on YouTube. And to show you again I'm just trying to share a game with people, but I had made a piece called "Change the Game: The 4-Day Theory." All that was me documenting. I had my crew documenting the limited theatrical release that we had of the movie in Chicago. Now, mind you, the amazing thing about Pieces of a Dream, we're talking about a movie that was shot 15 years ago, straight up. Movie shot 15 years ago. And we released this movie in a limited release in Chicago. During that first week, we literally outsold Tyler Perry's Muddiest Family Reunion. And all this is documented. We documented this. The
Wow.
great film critic Roger Ebert. Roger Ebert saw this movie during Oscar season. Now, this is when we were releasing all this stuff. During Oscar season, Roger was blown away. He said, I want to do something for you. He gets on the radio
Mm.
next day on WGN radio, which is broadcast worldwide. This man gets on there and they were talking to him about studio films and Tyler Perry and all these other filmmakers. He's in the middle of the conversation. He cuts them off and says, I want to tell you about this movie that I seen called Pieces of a Dream. He starts talking about me in this movie. And he's like, this is an extremely interesting movie. And he pegged it a must see. And that opened up another door for me at that time. I mean, and so forth. But these are the things that Dame saw, Omar saw, that led to my deal currently. And when people, you wonder about the gap per se in me creating that film versus now, you got to be careful who you link up with, because at that time I had a green producer. Even though he was an older brother, he was green in terms of knowing the business. And there were a lot of slip ups along the way, because Pieces of a Dream, technically, it was supposed to be out back in like 2007 or 2008. I mean, again, we outsold Tyler Perry in a huge market like Chicago. That should have been it, because I put my own money into the initial distribution to show Hollywood, the execs and everything, that this movie has legs, it's viable, and it's going to be a big seller. Because the things I had done, we literally went on social media back then. It was MySpace that we were working on in the confines of MySpace and so forth. And man, we had 1 million people worldwide just waiting to know where to go see this movie, because we utilized the internet and social media. And at the time, you got everybody, obviously, Roland Martin. Roland Martin was in Chicago at that time. He was working at a station in Chicago. He interviewed us when he was in Chicago about the movie. That helped blow it up. We were traveling to HBCUs and different stuff around the country. We even went to some of the major universities, talking to the film students, showing clips of the movie, building an audience, building a fan base. And in the movie, we even had Raz B from B2K. He plays one of the characters in the movie. And that opened up the B2K fans. So we had the B2K connection worldwide and so forth. So you see what I'm saying when I say I try to stay 2 to 3 steps, always thinking ahead. Everything was strategic in terms of what I was doing. But I had a producer, I'm out there, working the streets and doing the hustling, but the producer wasn't doing the business on the other side, and that's what kind of led to the gap. But thank God that I made a timeless film. That's what Dame, Omar, those brothers said, man, this film was made in 05 and 06, but it's about right now. It's kind of like Marvin Gaye's What's Going On. It's timeless.
Yeah.
That's what people gravitate to when they see the movie, when they see the trailer and they see the story. They say, man, this is like literally right now. You looking way down the timeline. But that's the kind of movie we made with Pieces of a Dream. And that's why it's so important. And another thing about Pieces of a Dream, I'm just because I'm the director, I'm not saying this, or the writer or any of that stuff. I let the people blow the movie up and so forth. I do my part in terms of marketing and selling it, but the people ultimately are the ones that lift me up. It's kind of like Muhammad Ali when he's the people's champ type mentality. That's always been my mentality. If the people hold you down, you're always going to be in demand, because it's the people that ultimately pay the bills. And if the people aren't supporting you, you're not going to make it. You can make a movie, you can make Star Wars, but if don't nobody go see it, did you make it? You kind of got to ask that question. Did you really make it? If nobody sees it, And that's, again, fast forwarding it to now, when Dame and Omar reached out and they explained their positioning of what they're doing, and they're doing some dynamic things now in the game. And Dame's a smart brother. I mean, what he's formulated, it's a way literally to equal the playing field if you have the type of hustle and energy that matches a brother like that. And if you bring in something to the table that can garner the attention, he has an avenue in terms of getting your work out and so forth. But it's a step-by-step process. And that's the kind of film, like a Pieces of a Dream, that you can build on in terms of a legacy and so forth. That's really what Pieces of a Dream is in the midst of. It's in the midst of doing. We're about to embark on a journey here, and it's opening up the door to do all the rest of the films for the rest of my life, literally.
Beautiful.
But that's a little snippet of this journey. But man, we got some stuff. And I might be jumping the gun in some of this stuff I'm saying, but literally, you guys are about to see some stuff coming on. Like TMZ's contacted me about some stuff. TMZ, Entertainment Tonight, Inside Edition. All this stuff is getting ready to, like, the marketing machine is getting ready to be nuts, man. I mean, because I've got a publicist that's second to none. It's a sister, out on the East Coast, but she's lining all this stuff up, and it's on the way and coming. So the biggest thing that I can ask people to do is opening week. The release date is about to, I think it's coming in, next month, obviously in November sometime. We should have a release date when it'll be available to be worldwide on Tubi TV, the stream system. That's the first step we're going. But that first week is so important. We need, what I'm going for is 1 million+ streams. That first week, we're trying to straight up break Tubi. That's the whole point. And we bust Tubi and break the door open like that, the world is mine at that point, and I can make the films that I want to make, not the films that Hollywood wants you to make, but the films that speak to a culture, speak to people. And when I say people, I'm talking about a universal people. We're not a monolithic people. Y'all know where I'm going with that.
Indeed.
But I'm talking about universal people. And that's what ultimately your Roger Eberts, different ones like that, that's what they seen in my work. It not only speaks to just one particular line of people, it speaks to everybody. The kid in the cornfields of Iowa can see something. The kid that's in Japan can see something. And that's ultimately, when you guys see Pieces of a Dream, and when everybody else see Pieces of a Dream, you'll see what I'm saying, because I'm sharing a lot of stuff for a period of time, but man, we had a screening at the White House, straight up, like the White House. And we're at the White House screening Pieces of a Dream. And I'm standing in the back now. I'm standing in the back just watching. And this was when the president at that time, I'm trying to think, this was during the, I want to say Bush. It was during the Bush era. Okay. And yeah, during the Bush era. And man, we're at the White House now. And John Lewis. I met John Lewis, love. Good brother. Yep. Obviously, John Lewis. John Lewis. Now, I'm standing and we're talking, and I'm just admiring him because he's a hero. This guy's a hero, and I'm just picking his brain. But as we're watching the movie, I kept, how you had a feeling that somebody's watching you, but when you turn around, nobody's there. It was kind of like one of those things. So I finished up my conversation with him. I'm talking to another brother. And then the sister come up. And next thing I know, I got somebody pulling at my suit, pulling at the bottom of my suit. I turn around. It was a Latino brother from South America. He was dressed in those chef outfits. He had a white outfit, the hat, the whole. It was like stereotypical. He had the hat and everything. And he couldn't speak English too well, but he could say Skee. He could say certain things that you knew. He says, "Excuse me, Mr. Skee," and he says, "Do you have 1 minute?" I said, "Yeah, man, I'm good. The movie's doing its thing." I'm standing there. He brings about 8 other Latinos. And they tell me they were from, like, I'm talking about, when I say Latino, I'm talking about South America type. They were from South America, not Mexico. It was amazing. But they wrote me a letter. They were standing in the shadows because they couldn't come in there and like be a part of the screening like that because they were serving food, but they were watching the
Right.
movie as they were serving the food, and they pulled me back there. And like I said, it was about 8 of them. Man, these guys were like 5'3", 5'4". It was all stereotypical, but they wrote me a letter in broken English, and I kept that letter to this day. But they said that film is powerful. That's a universal film. Everything in Pieces of a Dream happens in our country. Wow. And he's like, wow, you're a visionary, this, and that. And he was just so happy they all asked him to autograph. They were loving it. But that's what I'm saying. When it's bigger, if you're just in it for the money comes. You know, if you do the work, the money comes.
Right.
I like to reach the people. Because again, like I said, if the people hold you down and support you, you're never going to be broke. You're never going to go hungry, and you're always going to be relevant. So I'm saying all that to say, you have these brothers that can barely speak English, but they understood that movie. That tells you, that's saying a lot. Exactly. They could barely speak English, but they clearly understood Pieces of a Dream. And to this day, I mean, I'm going to post that letter actually on my social media accounts. Probably, I might drop that like maybe next week sometime, because I think it's important that people see the power of cinema, the stuff that y'all identify with as kids in Decatur. It's the same thing that's happening now. And the same thing, you fast forward this back in 93, you know, when y'all were kids. And here we are now in the 21st century, same things affecting people, man. Same things moving people. That's the power of cinema. That's ultimately the power. And you got to be respectful. You got to be respectful of cinema, because you have a lot of power in your hand. You can shift people left or shift them right. You got to be careful with your movies. And that's what I always say with my films. When you see the moniker out there talking about the conscious film movement, that's the consciousness of my movies. I always try to be respectful, because I know I'm influencing somebody. Somebody's always watching you, always. So you have to be real careful when you're putting your body of work out there, because I may not be able to be in 5 or 6 countries simultaneously, but my movie can. And that's a representative of me. Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
That's just real.
Right. 4-5. That's like your hustle sound like that's a hip hop hustle, man. I guess the hip hop hustle is universal and can transcend over to anything, because I see
yes, sir.
What you're saying is can translate into anything, man. And people need to understand that, and they need to understand how you don't stop, you don't quit ever.
No,
Yep.
That's the
yeah.
That's got to be the most important part, because I know it's plenty of times when you're doing something, you know, especially with your line of work, where you know, you might feel like I'm hitting a brick wall, whatever the case would be, but you know, I'm a big believer that you can't quit, because your breakthrough could be right there, and you don't even see it. You know, just like you said, you were sitting there, you were be in the right place, right time. You were sitting there watching football, and you got the phone call. You know, somebody seeing your trailer. You know what I'm saying? You said the brother Omar seen your trailer and was like, hey, you got something here. You know what I'm saying? It's just, but it's all in. And it's all in just doing the work, because as we were talking, as we were telling the story, I actually went up and I looked up your trailer on YouTube, and I seen it had been there for some time. But the thing is, it's a testament to doing the work. You know, do the work.
There you go.
You do the work.
That's the key. That's the key, Q. I mean, when you do the work, the people will find you. It's kind of like the old film called Field of Dreams. Kevin Costner's Field of Dreams. If you build it, they'll come.
They'll come. That's right.
I built it. I built it. And they coming.
Yes,
you know, they coming. The key is being ready. And the irony of everything that we rapping about, with it being the culture and so forth, the irony, I never would have perceived Dame Dash to be the one coming.
Man.
I never would have perceived that, you know. But Dame loves cinema. He loves cinema and so forth. And obviously he's a visionary. The brother, he's smart, and he's an entrepreneur, and the guy's a hip hop mogul. I mean, this brother, you know, for those, I mean, we all know. I mean, this the man. Let's just be real. He built Rockefeller. He built Rockefeller. I mean, straight up. You know, and respect to Jay and all that. I mean, mad respect for Jay, but No Dame, no Rockefeller. You
That's
know,
real.
it's no Rock. Let's just be real. I mean, Kareem, Kareem Burke, and Jay Z and all them, they all did it together. But Dame was the drive, man. You know, so you got to look at that in a certain way. But it tickles me when I think about it sometimes. But why Dame? Why Dame reach for me?
But why?
You
But why
know,
not?
and it's
But why not, Dame?
Why
Why
not?
not, Dame?
Yeah.
You know what I'm
very
saying?
good. You see where I'm going. You see where I'm
Yeah.
going. I have
Yeah.
something to offer on my side as
Word.
well. And game recognized game. That's game recognized game.
There it is.
And that's what
Yeah.
it's about. That's what
Yep.
it's about. But he's about, I mean, he's putting people on, man. About putting people on, but you got to have something. You got to be ready, and you got to have something to offer, and that's really what we're bringing. And Jay, when you asked earlier about the multiple companies and so forth, again, these are all brothers, man, that have created like Homestead Entertainment, distribution company out of LA. Jay, not Jay, but Dame hooked up with Homestead Entertainment in the distribution deal. He negotiated all that stuff, back, but it's all to get product out. Every piece
Mm.
connects.
Yeah.
We all bring something to the table, and that's what this is about. It's a team effort, but it's family, and that's the word they
Yeah.
like to use all the time. We're family. We're family. If you're successful, I'm successful. So we got to make you successful because you're my brother. You're in my family.
Right.
I
Yeah.
eat, you eat, I eat.
Yeah.
That's the mentality. That's what this is about. And when it's taking it to the next level, because that's, again, another word that they like to use all the time. They said, piece of the dream got to be successful. That was the whole thing. They said, we want to get that off first because you got that done. And we want to get that off. And the world needs to see that. They need to see this movie. It's an important movie. And it's one of the, literally, it's one of the most critically acclaimed films of our generation, but the world hadn't seen it. The world hasn't seen it yet, but the world about to see it,
Yep.
now. And that's what they can't take that away, no matter what happens. If I were to die tomorrow, that's my legacy, man. And that's what I'm mindful of all the time. Back when we were doing Unequal Injustice in Decatur, Illinois, I was always my legacy. My legacy. What is my legacy? What will people think about me when I'm gone? What's going to stand the test of time for me? That's why I say this thing is a conscience film movement. It's real, and we got to get the people, out there. First week, this movie is released on Tubi TV. Just stay plugged in, because the information is going to be dropped, and the marketing machine is about to happen. Right now, we just doing the grassroots stuff on social media end of things. But once we get the release date from Tubi, it's on. We gonna push that, and the goal is to 1 million plus that first week. And we do that, we're in a position to fund film for the rest of our lives because we hadn't had it at that level. And that's the power of what Pieces of a Dream, and ultimately, like y'all identified with my hustle and my grind, that's what I'm showing Tubi TV. And Tubi TV can reach everybody in the world. Literally, you just gotta. It's on our cell phone, on our video game platforms, on our smart TVs, and people can watch in the convenience of their crib, wherever on their time. And that's what I'm saying. When we keep saying 1 million, some people may think that's a huge number. That's not a huge number when you're talking about the world.
Right.
I say 1 million conservatively, but I'm not stopping at no million. Man, I'm trying to break Tubi TV where their servers can't handle it.
That's what I'm talking about.
Who is this brother?
That's what I'm talking about.
Skee, Skinner, and Dame Dash, and we coming for your neck. This is what we doing.
I know, and that's right.
Mentality, that's the hip hop mentality. That's what built Rockefeller. That's what made Jay-Z. Jay will tell you himself that y'all know as well as I do. When you students of hip hop, they didn't want to sign Jay. That's how Rockefeller was born. Labels passed on that man twice.
They did it themselves.
We're talking about one of the gods. I mean, straight up one of the gods of hip hop. Right. They passed on this man too. And that's what led to him and Dame saying, wait a minute, let's do it ourselves. They made the means, and look at them. Look at them. We can't begin a conversation of hip hop without talking about them too.
Exactly.
They're in it. They all up in it. But it's the same mentality now being brought to the film game. And that's what we're talking about again when we're saying a movement. And the moniker that I always like to use with my work again, I say it's not just a movie, it's a movement. It's a movement. And when they write my story and when they tell my story, you're not going to be able to talk about film without bringing Skee up in that thing. That's what y'all saw as a kid. That's what y'all saw as a young man in Decatur. I was looking all down the road all the time, and to get to this point, I'm not there all the way. I'm on the way. I'm on the road. Let's put it like that. I'm on the road now because again, Dane provided the highway. He provided the mechanism. I brought the ingredients that was already cooked and the food was ready. He just gave me the highway now, and we're accessing the highway, and the world's going to soon know, that it's another brother that's in the game with a different voice and a different mindset than what you always seen, and that's what this is about, man. But like I said before, ultimately we need the people, and it's on the people to support this film. And it's not just a movie, man. This is a straight movement, and people to see once you plug in and check it out.
Wow.
Well, you can can't know this. The Elements podcast, man. We definitely, you let me know the date, and I'm gonna blast it out on all my social medias, man, because I want to see you break Tubi TV. I want to see. I want to see Pieces of a Dream break Tubi TV, and we're gonna make everybody on board on our end to promote that and get that out there, man. Because, like you said, bro, it says something for your body of work that has been out. It's been out there.
Oh yeah.
And somebody's seen it and knows that it still needs to be seen and heard. That's what we call a classic.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Exactly.
There you go. And that's what I mean. In real talk, man, that's what the senior producer of Inside Edition. I'm talking. This is like 4 or 5 days ago. She's talking to my publicist, and we saying, well, hey, let's get we can need the publicity. We need the publicity. We need a platform to speak from. But I'm talking about Dame to her, and I'm talking about some of the other brothers, and then I'm kind of diverting, bringing me in on the tail end. She identified with what you just said. She said, wait a minute. She said, Skee, I'm interested in you. And that took me aback for a minute. She said, you're the story. She said, you talking about a film from 15 years that's timeless. She said, that needs to be seen right now. What you're doing is phenomenal. She said, because who does that? It's got to be something more to this, and we got to share this story. We got to let the world see this. So everything you're saying, the platform, people about to see, man. I mean, it was a lot of controversy that kept the world from seeing this movie for 15 years. But it's my time now, and again, Dane provided the door. Like James Brown used to say about open the door and I get it myself. I just needed the brother to open the door. And he see the hustle. He recognized the hustle, and when a person don't have to spend a lot of time schooling you, all they got to do is open the door, and they know this dude gonna get it. I'm like, if you don't open the door, I'm gonna find somebody else to open the door. Right. But thank God that brother has a heart and has vision and is a businessman. We need more people like that that's looking out for the young brothers that's coming up, looking out for their brothers and their sisters and so forth. That's what ultimately, like I said, when my story's written, I believe that's what it'd be written about, is that this brother, he had a heart. He was creative and everything and all the drive and the hustle and so forth, but he had a heart for the people, and that's what it's really about, man.
Beautiful. Wow. So you want to, so have to be on a, okay, so the movie's going to premiere on Tubi. Like, so, with technology being the way it is nowadays, the streaming platforms, do you feel that's do you feel that it's a greater advantage for filmmakers like yourself, especially with like Tubi? Because I watched Tubi quite a bit. I got into it over the past year being in Kuwait.
Yeah.
And, I love it because you see a lot of the independent films and things of that nature. And
Oh yeah. Oh
you
yeah.
know, do you feel that like technology like that that's a great advantage to filmmakers like yourself? Or
Oh no doubt, Q. I mean, no doubt, man. If you look at the studio system on Tubi, you see a lot of the studios releasing movies into that platform,
right,
and so forth. Because one of the keys with Tubi, like I said, it's accessible. When you put it into people's hands like that, they can access the movies at their time,
right,
and at their convenience. And the advertisers, pay the bills. So you're giving it to the people so-called for free, but it's not free, but you're giving them access to it
right,
for free. It's that streaming highway.
right.
But if you get the advertisers to pay the bills, it's just like buying a ticket at the movie and so forth. But it's like I said, that first week, the reason why it's so important for filmmakers like myself is because that first week they're monitoring, just like the box office, the streams that you're pulling in, and the advertisers gravitate to you. And it's kind of like, think of it like the Super Bowl when they pay for those commercials in the Super Bowl. They're paying for exposure, and if they know that you're doing what I'm about to do in terms of breaking Tubi TV, they come to you. Your Budweisers and all those, they come to you. So Dane, from that aspect, it's a genius move, man. It's a genius move for filmmakers and so forth. But I'm sharing the game somewhat, but you got to know how to play the game. Knowing the game and playing it is two different things. If you know it, you better know how to play it.
Right.
And that's what Dame is doing with this. And Tubi TV is a great platform, but that's not, like I said, it's not the end all, the be all. That's not our only goal. There's so many different levels to this thing. But People's Dream is the one coming out the gate. It's kind of like, I mean, y'all remember when Wu-Tang first broke.
Yeah.
Them brothers came through as Wu-Tang, and then you started seeing, RZA, Meth, ODB. You seeing all these other brothers come out of this clique, but they understood you got to come through the door first. You come through the door, we can all branch out and get it. And that's what this is about.
You talking my language, Skee. Talking my language.
Yeah, it's real. I gotta break. I gotta come through the door. But when I open up that door, a whole lot of people coming on my back and so forth. But it's all the same clique. But we just we opening this door for opportunity and opening up that opportunity. So it's gonna be a fun ride. We're having fun along the way, and we're also helping people along the way. But at the end of the day, like I said, when people see my film, it's a movement, man. It's the conscious film movement. People, you're not gonna watch my movie and just turn it off and be done. It's gonna stick with you. It's kind of like that cholesterol. When the cholesterol get up in you, when it get up in you, it's up in you for a minute.
It's up in for a minute. You're right.
And they sit around and talk about it. I mean, because again, I just share comical stories with you. But man, we were at the theater in Chicago during the release, and people wouldn't leave the lobby, man. It's a crowd of people. They getting ready to close. They trying to close, sweep the floors, and all this and that. People wouldn't leave. They standing in the lobby talking about pieces of a dream.
Wow.
We had to go out the side door because they wanted to talk all night. The theater owner said, y'all got to go home. I can't kick y'all out, but will you please go?
Yeah.
But that's kind of what a conscious film does to you. That's what I'm saying. It's for a conversation. And if you with your woman, your boys, or whatever, after you've seen it, you're gonna want to talk to somebody about what you just saw. Right. And that's the power. That's the power of this film, man. It's about real life, man. But we entertaining you along the way, and we taking you a lot of different places. But when you get done watching it, man, it's one of those. It's what I'm saying. It's one of those movies that just don't leave you too soon.
Got it.
But that's what we on.
Dope.
That's beautiful, man. Looking forward.
You said you.
Say that again, bro.
Oh, you go, Jay.
What was that?
So you say you always keep you always stay 2 steps ahead. You always keep a few in the clip, right?
Oh, no doubt.
What's coming? What's coming next? I know you don't want to put out too much.
Without saying too much.
Yeah.
Without saying too much. What working on next, and what you're working on is it still, it's gonna still fall up under the Dame Dash Studio promotion and distribution.
Oh yeah. We working this thing, man. I mean, that's literally from them. When we were initially talking, and as they've gotten to know me, he said, "Man, I know you got more. I know you got some more because they know how I am." And I said, "Yeah, man, I got 6." I guess he said that's what I want to hear. He said because that's what it's about. We want to get pieces of a dream off, and then we want to address those and keep this thing going. We want to just keep it going, and so forth. So that's the importance of Pieces of a Dream coming out the gates, right? It's basically reintroducing me to the world on that level. And it's letting them see what I'm about as a person or a filmmaker and so forth. But the next joint's coming up. I got like a murder mystery drama called Deeper Shade of Blue. It's gonna blow people away, man. I mean, it's nothing like people have ever seen. I mean, it's straight up. It's an introspective piece, man. On a neighborhood, and if it's a cat named Blue that's in this movie. And if everybody in the neighborhood loved Blue so much, why did he end up murdered? So we spin this story, we spin it back. You know, when you see the movie, it actually starts 2 weeks ago, and you see this brother get murdered, and it's like a whodunit. It's a classic whodunit, but it's a whodunit from a whole different perspective. It's like when you think you know your neighbor, the person you live next door to for 15 years, for 20 years, or maybe even grew up with, see down the block. Do you really know him? Because when you start to peer behind that door, everybody had a motive to off this brother. So that's why it's called Deeper Shade of Blue. It's a deeper shade of blue. That's one joint that I'm pushing next. And there's another one that I've got called The Hilltop. And The Hilltop is like I'm talking about. The Hilltop is a Pulp Fictionist. It's sort of like Pulp Fiction. It's that kind of a movie. It's really about a area, a town that I didn't grow up in the Hilltop back in Alton, but there was an area of town we called the Hilltop. And I got love for a lot of the cats that came up there, but the Hilltop was kind of like Caprini Greens. Man, they straight up leveled this housing development. And I'm talking about they raised the ground. It's no longer there. That's one of the spots that was dope, and a lot of love from my brothers and sisters in the Hilltop. But I wrote a story about cats that I grew up with that was from that spot, but some of it's true and some of it's obviously, fiction for cinematic purposes and so forth. But it's a story, and it's something to give back to that memory. But at the same time, it's a ride. It's like they say, it's a hell of a ride. When you get on this ride and you get to the end, it's like, wow. You know how when y'all saw Pulp Fiction for the first time, he was like, what did I just see?
Right.
Yeah. You got to go watch it. Right. What did I just see?
Yeah,
it's one of those points, and that's what we're doing. But it's a list of them, man. That's just 2 that I'm giving you out of the kitty per se, but got several more. But that's what the conscious film movement is about, and that's what the conscious film movement brings, and that's what's coming from my camp, the whole One Way Productions deal. That's what's coming from us.
Dope.
The conscious film movement. I love it.
Yes,
I love
sir.
it.
But it's real, man. I mean, people, like I said, the world. I don't know if the world ready, but it's coming. It's coming. It's coming. It's like that baby. Try to stop a baby from being born. That baby coming. That baby gonna be birthed. You just gotta prepare yourself.
It's gonna manifest for sure. For sure.
It's gonna manifest.
For sure. For sure.
Yeah, that's what we at though.
Hey, Skee, tell people how to get in touch with you, man. Plug all your social medias.
Oh yeah.
So we can get everybody behind this movement and tune in to who Skee is, and then make sure that we tune in to Pieces of Dream when it drops, and we shut down and break the internet on that.
Oh yeah, definitely. Give me 1 second, brother. I gotta grab this call. Give me 1 quick second. I'll be right back.
Yeah. Go ahead.
See, the hustle never stops, yo. The hustle never stops.
Don't stop, man. When business answer the call, man. One
Indeed.
thing I've learned over this past year: answer the call. Answer.
There you go. You got to, because you never know. That opportunity right there. But you gotta put in the work. We gotta put in the work. You know. Listening to Skee's story, like if he wanna put that out there, like I went and I found, like I said, while we were talking, I found that YouTube trailer, you know, and it's there. And just imagine just imagine giving up or not even
Right.
having a YouTube or whatever, your content. If you're a content creator, you don't have that out there for people to see. Just imagine how many people that we have that's probably sitting, as you say, under the sound of our voice right now, who have ideas or have that story in them, their book, their movie, their whatever, you know what I'm saying, their song in them, and they don't put it out there. They gonna miss that opportunity. So you gotta do the work.
Oh, yeah, sorry about that again, brother. I apologize for
Do the
that.
work.
Do the
No,
work. That's always
good, man. You good over here, Skee.
Okay, cool.
We again, man. You gave us a bag of jewelry today, man, and we making sure
yeah.
we gonna share this with the people, man.
Oh,
Got to.
So
appreciate
yeah,
that.
tell us all your social medias and how we can follow you, bro.
Oh, definitely. Just from the Instagram to Facebook. If you look up, Skee Skinner, the name Skee Skinner, that's the easiest way to get at me, and so forth. And then in terms of people peeping out like the trailer and the theatrical release of the film and all that stuff, just go to YouTube. If you go to YouTube and type in, Pieces of a Dream, or type in, Skee Skinner, you'll see the theatrical trailer. You'll see what the people that have the privilege of seeing that movie in the theater say about it. I mean, these are people that's straight coming out the theater raw. We didn't know what they were gonna say. But the people ultimately are the ones that's gonna sell you, because either you win or you lose with them, and so forth. But yeah, if people want to get at me, I encourage them. Look me up on Facebook, and same thing, on Instagram and so forth. And definitely the people that check things out on YouTube, leave comments, And you can also there's a film website called IMDb. The letters like I and M like mom and D like David and B like boy. Go to imdb.com. It's the industry standard website. And again, you pop in my name, you'll see, the work, and just, leave a comment and show some love. That's how we ultimately grow, because people, they do the research. And the last thing I would say about all of that, one of my statements that I always like to say is like your resume. That's what I always try to tell, cats. It's like, man, make sure your resume is right, because your resume is you. That's your. So people, when they do the Google search, sometimes people, they laugh when they like, I'm walking on the streets and I bump into folk and they want to rap. I tell them, man, just Google search me. That's my resume. Google search me and you'll see like what I'm on or what I'm about. Because if it's something whack or something negative, y'all know social media don't spare nobody. If you out there tricking or you making whack projects, then social media gonna let you know.
That's real.
But I get a lot of love, man, because I kept it real from day one. That's how we all hooked up. Again, like I said, Jay, your mom, mad love and mad respect for her. And same thing with you, Q. I mean, your people. I mean, that's how we all met. It was that vibe, man. And here we are now in 2021, still kicking it.
It is.
You got to say something about it,
It does. It does.
Yeah.
It does. We got history.
And all of us, and we still looking 19 and 20 out in this month too, man. Skee, man, you look like you just stepped out of 1994, brother.
On everything.
That's funny, man.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Like we still was over at Woodrow Wilson. Like we was at Woodrow Wilson at the gym. You know what I'm saying? Over on Sunset.
Funny. Oh yeah, it's real, man. But that's what I say. When you're doing right, though, man, y'all know when you're doing right, it preserved you, man. Yeah, that'll preserve you. Right there, man. People feel that, man, and that's what they gonna, that's what the world, like I said, the world catching up. They catching up.
There it is. Yeah.
Word.
Yep.
Word.
But yeah, man, this is
Skee,
all
man, we
good.
appreciate your time, good brother.
Oh, definitely, man. It's my pleasure, man. Been my pleasure.
Appreciate the jewelry as well, big brother. For
Oh,
real.
always, man. But we'll kick it again, man. Definitely, we'll kick it again. And like I said, I when the release date, when they them let me know what the release date is, it's coming, man. We're gonna bust and break 2BTV. That's the whole goal. Is breaking 2BTV, man.
Yeah,
You got the support of our
that's
platforms.
the campaign.
Yep.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So I appreciate y'all. I love y'all, man.
Love you too, brother.
Love you
Most
too,
definitely.
good brother, man. Appreciate
Most
you.
definitely. I thank y'all, man. Thank y'all.
Salute.
Y'all take care
All
now.
right, peace.
Well,
Peace.
you as well. Peace.
All
All
right,
right, peace.
now.
Elements Podcast.
The Elements Podcast, man. We still recording. We ain't ended yet, man. I just wanted to salute Skee Skinner, man. Y'all see it on there. Follow him on IG and Facebook. Good brother still persevering out here. He's still grinding. He hasn't stopped at all, man. And if you take away anything from this interview, if you're passionate about something and you love what you do, you don't never stop. You don't never put it away. You
Not at all.
keep continuously tapping into it and chipping at that door or whatever, and eventually your breakthrough will come. And I know my man ain't stuck here. You know what I'm saying? This is he still got a whole lot he trying to do, but salute to him and just staying consistent with that hustle, with that film hustle, man. That's a good look for him and for any up and coming filmmaker. You know what I'm saying? You got to go to Hollywood. You ain't got to do that.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, even with salute to Skee Skinner, like we said. With that story, with his story and with his experience that he just shared, even with people taking his work and using it to their advantage, it's still not going to stop you. If you really have the passion in your heart and you really have the talent, you really have the skill, and you commit to it, it's going to come. It's going to come. And even listen to the story where he puts himself in the same circle of the person that took his work, and to be getting accolades, and how when he said the person saw him, it looked like he saw a ghost. But that is the spirit of perseverance. That is resilience, and that's just, man. Like we keep saying, you can't quit. You can't quit, man. You cannot quit. Period. I mean, the people that are on, that have made it and done things, what is in them is in you. They just did not quit. So you got to keep building. If you got a passion or something that you're going to do, if it's positive and it's going to bring positivity, and it's going to, be a blessing to people, go for it. Pour into it. Do what you got to do. Do the work. You got to do the work. You got to do the work.
Right.
So again, salute to the good brother. When Pieces of a Dream, when it's ready to go, you're going to see that on this platform. You're going to see that on Ground Up Radio. We're going to push that. The idea is to break Tubi TV.
Yeah, we're going to shut it down.
Indeed. Jay, it's been another one. It's been another one, man.
It's been another one, man, and it's good to have you back, man. It feels
good to be back.
It feels good.
It's good to be back. Hey, consistency wins, brother. You know what I'm saying? It's good to be back, man. Let's continue to stay consistent. Let's continue to do what it is that we do. Let's continue to represent the culture in all aspects of what we do, because that is the foundation. That is the foundation of what we do. Indeed.
Word. The Elements, man. It's another one. Y'all be easy. Peace and blessings, man. One and child, man. We'll catch y'all on the next one.
Peace. We out.
verbal pandemic seeping through your speaker box. They ain't wanna let us in the door, so we breach the locks. Peace to the gods and earth, non-ether beings. All I seeing, catch me in that all-white BM with my queen who's darker than the cosmos. If the deal ain't feeding the fam, ain't no convo. Nigga keep a 9 on my back like I'm Rondo. Serving up 2 Big Macs, that's a combo. The heater have your team.
Lots of stars in the sky tonight. What do you say, Big Bang Theory or God?
Get your hands up off me!
Does one sin outweigh another sin?
Just because somebody got bigger hands than you don't make them a man.
There's only one truth, and that's God.
I can't shake it. The world just keeps turning round and round, as if I never existed.
So now you got some blood on your hands, too.
And that's when I planned my mother's murder.
What about your father?
I'm just a fatherless, abused child who survived. Boy, what's wrong with you?
You alright, man? Yeah.
You remember I'm your mama.
Things change sometimes.
It would be nice to have a man around the house. He's as faceless as God.
What is your name, Golden?
Everybody calls me Glow.
Oh.
Love's a funny word. People toss it about and don't even understand it.
Remember that artist I was telling you about?
And if I take your picture?
Paintings would never lie to me.
Paul and I were just discussing the Bible.
Your friend describes you as a genius.
I give you, the creator of such great works.
I bleed on white canvas for them.
Come on back to bed.
That's between you, her, and God. Oh, so now I'm nothing.
This was your idea.
That was not my idea.
Now you leave it alone.
I love her.
Come on! Let the boy will never do it!
You don't even know her.
Don't drop the quarter in if you're not willing to play the game.
Fix it, or I will.
Crystal.
So they call you Black Jesus, huh? What's up with you, little homie?
You crossed over, Black.
I gotta get some money from somewhere, Ma.
Show me what you got.
I got heart.
Now, I ain't a man. Ain't never had no daddy. But I seen enough of him grow to see what happens to him.
Trust me when I tell you, Black Jesus, Coop got enough work for you and for me.
You think you know more than your mama.
Does sin have weight?
Lessons. Ain't no lessons in nightmares, Coop.
So you ready?
Ready for what?
It's all in pieces, even our dreams. It ain't right or wrong. It's just how it is. Pieces of a dream.